Okay, so I haven't done a video in a while here. So I am in a different place now. I just wanted to touch base. I'm in a different area. I did end up getting out of that area in Texas because it's not safe in these areas with the issues going on at the border. And I ended up leaving that area, getting out of there safe. But I can tell you firsthand that the issues at the border are very real. I was about an hour away from Laredo and Catula area, where I was just staying there for a while, and we were seeing a lot of people starting to show up that seemed like maybe they were illegals or something, or and I know that the crime was increasing, like you couldn't leave your car open, or there was maybe a threat of things getting stolen. This is what I don't understand, is I don't understand where these people are going to work. All these people that are flooding across, how are they going to make an income? Or are they going to start stealing? Because this is what I was thinking, was that there's probably going to be a huge influx of crime that's going to start happening, and then there's just a big cartel issue in those areas. Apparently, in the Laredo area, there's the Nuevo or the Los Zetas cartel, and they're very dangerous. And so I am I'm in a different area now. So but I wanted to touch base on many things, because some people know my story and know that I was targeted by the police. I've been targeted by the police multiple times since I became a whistleblower in 2013. So with this recent verdict of guilty in Minnesota, for me personally, I was glad to see that, because to me, that was an abuse of power, and they've done that to me multiple times. They've abused their authority, and it seems like they never have accountability for their actions. It's hard to sue a police officer because they have all these immunities, and they really are getting away with abusing their authority. It's real, and I'm hearing, I've heard from a lot of other people that have written into me, because from my channel, they're other targeted people, or just bad experiences by different people with the police. It's like over the years they've become just a money making machine for the county or the city, giving tickets and stuff instead of public servants. And some of it, to me, I think it mostly stems from whoever is up above. If you have a bad sheriff overseeing the deputies, then you're going to see some of those things, those problems. And so to me, it seems like the issue is more from the top, would probably be from the top down. So anyway, I was glad to see that, because I'm hoping that this is going to be a sign of reform starting to happen with the police. I personally really hope that this is a step in the right direction of reform, and retraining. And then I'm also hearing stories about people who are veterans with mental health issues and different things like that, and that are ending up getting abused by the police just when they're having a mental health crisis, and they call them out and they don't know how to handle it, and they end up like throwing them on the ground or something, just violent, and they don't deserve that. And so to me, there needs to be a lot of retraining in a lot of areas. But I personally have gotten pulled over by the police so I became a whistleblower about 2012, and then I started having the police pull me over and literally stalking me since 2013, and it's been about 60 times now. 60 times, and this is no exaggeration. I mean, it literally has been that many times. And it's to the point where I have to videotape them. I videotape them. I document everything. I get their badge numbers, different things like that. And it's total harassment at this point. It's beyond harassment. It's actually stalking. They actually stalk me, so that they'll be watching me for a while, following me for a while, and then they'll pull me over. So that's actually like stalking and illegal surveillance. So this is, like a whole other subject. And I personally, think that, a lot of this, so I know personally that the police are part of this targeted individual program. They're part of the harassment when you become one of these targeted individuals. And so they have, they're part of the problem until things get solved. And so to me, in my case, it like I said, it's beyond harassment. It's actually stalking. And I looked that up, and I was like, can a police officer, surveil you for no reason? And it said, no, you need a warrant. They're supposed to have a warrant. You can't just be following and stalking somebody for no reason without a warrant. So that's illegal. It is illegal. And I was looking up, how, because honestly, like there's some way that they're doing this. So it's some kind of surveillance system. And so I was looking up the different surveillance systems that the police are using, and there's something called the Stingray system is what I found. It's called the Stingray. It's a generic name for an electronic surveillance tool that stimulates a cell phone tower in order to force mobile phones and other devices to connect instead of legitimate cell towers. Okay, that's what they're using. They're using that. And then they're also using something called an AP police tracking system, which is a software application. And once the phone is infected, police can use it to monitor and use your location record, your location services record, ambient audio through the microphone. They can look at photos with this and different things like that. They're real secretive about these systems. Like, they don't want you to know what they're using. And I read a story how a Georgetown Center for Privacy and Technology filed a public records request asking the NYPD to provide information on how they were surveilling people, and they would not tell them. And they were trying to get a warrant or something to try to get them to tell them how they were surveilling people. And there's something called an act called Public Oversight of Surveillance Technology Act that was passed at some point. And I don't know what happened to this, but this is what I'm finding on this. And I personally feel that this, is a very serious issue. If the police don't have a warrant to pull you over, to surveil you, then that's illegal. And this is something I've touched on in the past and in my videos in the past, and that's against my constitutional rights. Under Article 4 of the Bill of Rights, I have the right to, I have the constitutional right to be able to feel safe in my own home, in my own property, against illegal arrest, illegal surveillance, illegal seizures. That's Article 4 of the Bill of Rights under the Constitution. And so, basically these are constitutional violations. And I've talked about this in a different video. So I personally hope that this is the start of police reform. And so I wanted to touch on that. And then I wanted to touch on something else here too, that, so some people, think, some people, had seen my video that I did with this girl named Jamie Burke and Simon Burke a few months back, as they were other targeted people from Idaho that had contacted me that had been pulled over multiple times, and then they ended up, they were harassed by the same cop that I was harassed by. Penn his name is, and I don't know what is happening with him, but so I hadn't, so they personally had the same, they got beat up pretty much for no reason, and pulled out of the car, and by the same officer that I was. I was literally just coming out of the state fair, and he pulled me over for no reason and literally grabbed me out of the car physically, and I still have no idea, have been given no information about why I was pulled over that day. So that was completely illegal. They still, to this day, all these months later, I've requested information on why I was pulled over and arrested that day, and, had to bail myself out, and I've never been provided any information as to why I was pulled over. So, I mean, I'm just pulling over with the rest of the crowd out of the state fair, so if this kind of thing, obviously is not okay. They can't just do that to people without repercussions, because otherwise you could just be, they start pulling over everybody for no reason. So anyway, what I was going to say is that this Jamie Burke, so she was trying to get out of there, and get out of Idaho because she was being harassed all the time. And then she was fine for a while, and they were trying to, they were corresponding with the court because they were just playing games with them, and she never got, she couldn't get anywhere with them either. Like, she was trying to correspond with these different false charges they were trying to, and then she wasn't getting responses and different things like that. And then last I heard from her was November 14th of last year, where she sent me this email, and she said somebody had pulled a gun on her when she was at this apartment complex. So this is this is the email here. So somebody, some deep state, this was from November 14th, and it says, deep state, yesterday a deep state guy with the Democratic Party pulled a gun on me and Simon. Okay, so, and then all of a sudden she disappeared, and I didn't hear anything about from her for months. So I thought she was dead, and I was looking on her YouTube channel, and there was no postings of any kind, and so I thought she was actually dead, and I was really concerned because obviously, of what she said, and no, she wasn't responding, and so anyway, but then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, I heard from her, or at least I think it's her. She says it's her, and she contacts me and starts yelling at me and said she was arrested somewhere and brought back to Idaho. And and I know personally that she had been corresponding, and it shouldn't have been any reason that she was arrested, because she had been corresponding back and forth and trying to get information, as to when the next court date, or what, she had been asking for a continuance for him to provide reasons why, why she was trying to get help. And then apparently she was arrested and brought back to Idaho, and then she starts sending me out of nowhere these nasty messages like she thinks I'm somehow involved. I'm another targeted person like she was, and I was really concerned about her. But it's really weird the way, like, literally she disappeared for months, and now she's like a completely different person, and saying all these crazy things that don't make any sense. And it almost makes me think that somebody literally kidnapped her and brought her, is maybe somehow had some kind of mind control done to her, because the things that she's saying now, and I haven't talked to her recently, but like a month ago, she was sending me all these crazy messages, like she thought I was somehow involved in getting her arrested. And and I had nothing to do with it. I kept trying to get a hold of her, asking her if she was okay. And so, personally, I think the Idaho cops are absolutely terrifying. And the ones there in Blackfoot are absolutely terrifying. The stories I'm hearing from people. And then one lady told me that, apparently there's been like 3 people that have been completely disappeared in the hands of the Idaho State Police. They're associated with the disappearance of at least 3 people. Okay, so, we're talking scary cops here. And this is why it's important that this be taken seriously with this police reform. And and I've said this before in the past that I'm not anti-police. I'm just, I can't. This is really serious, and it's so hard to have any kind of accountability, for the police, because they have all these immunities, and so and they do make mistakes, just like all of us do. And to me, it's very serious, because they should be held to a higher standard than the normal person, because they're doing the arrest. It's like, okay, oh, I don't think so. Okay, so you can get away with anything, but somehow I'm the criminal. They have become, with the illegal surveillance, they have become the criminals, because that's illegal. Okay, so I just wanted to touch on that today, and just touch base with a video here tonight. And so I'm hoping, that we'll see some changes in that area. And okay, so have a good night. Bye.